Okay, baby doll, today I'm going to teach you how to make mashed potatoes. Now, these are vegetable peelers. It's 3 different kinds of vegetable peelers. I don't know, I guess I couldn't find one at one time and I bought a different one or whatever, but I got 3 different kinds. They all do the same thing. They peel vegetables, either potatoes or carrots normally. Here's a potato, unpeeled. This was free, given to me by somebody who went out in the field to pick up potatoes after the big equipment went to harvest them. This is a peeled potato. I've already peeled a bunch of potatoes. You'll see I put them in this bowl when I've got them peeled. I've got that camera hanging on my cabinet so we can look at it. So I'm peeling these for this evening. I'm going over Nina and Dan's house to my Monday night meeting, and we all bring food, and I told them I'd bring mashed potatoes. That's why I've got so many. When you make them for a family, you'll just do a few of these, but I'm doing a bunch of them. And here's what you do. You take the potato peeler, and when you do this, the peels come off. I usually go straight into the garbage can, but where the camera's hanging now, I'm going to go onto this cutting board at first. And the peeler, you peel off the skins of the potatoes. Sometimes you can make mashed potatoes and leave the skins on. We're going to peel them off because not everybody likes the skins on, but actually it's healthier, so maybe me, you, and the family, the kids, will keep the skins on a lot of times. Okay, the potato is peeled, all right? And I put it in this bowl with the other potatoes. Now, some potatoes are going to have like a rotten spot on them. I peeled most of the potatoes that I'm going to peel, so I'm looking for one that has maybe a rotten spot on it or whatever. Just a minute, let me wash it. I've got my sink over here on the side. You can't see it with the camera, but it's got hot and cold running water. Here's a potato. You'll notice it's got some bad spots on it. It's not a very good potato as far as a whole potato with no spots on it. Here's a good potato with no spots on it, and I actually may save this to bake whole in the oven. We don't peel it, we just put it in the oven and bake it for about 45 minutes at 450 degrees and have a baked potato. But this one I'm going to peel, and it's got some bad spots on it. You've got to peel deeper when it's got a bad spot, and it's kind of got, if you'll notice there, a black area in there. You can take a knife and cut the black area out so that you just got white potato. And I've cut the black area out, and you see I continue peeling it. And here's an area that's kind of rotten, and you can take the end of the peeler, and it's got kind of thing you can dig out the rotten spot. Once you dig out the rotten spot again, you just have white potato. Looks kind of dark in there just because of the shadow. But I continue peeling. And the potato, like I said, has bad spots on it. You just dig them out, or you can peel deeper to get the bad spot off. You should just have white potato. Sometimes if there's black in there, it's because it's partially rotten, but that doesn't ruin the whole potato. So here's the potato. I put it in my bowl. Here's the peelings, which I'll put in the garbage can. Actually, we have what's called, potato peelings can be thrown in the garden to help with the garden, things like potato peelings. I'm not doing anything with carrots in this mashed potatoes, but I wanted to show you that this also used for a carrot. We cut off the ends of the carrots. Both ends of the carrots we cut off, and then peel the carrot. And then you can do several things with a peeled carrot. We can eat them raw. Here, let me throw these peelings away. It's my garbage can over here. if we eat them raw, a lot of times we'll cut the carrot in half and then slice the carrot down the center like that to have carrot sticks. But if we cook the carrot, a lot of times, then we slice it like this, and what you've got is sliced carrots, which we can just steam them and eat them. We could actually eat them raw. We can put them in with rice when we're boiling the rice in the rice cooker. But that's just to show you that we also peel carrots like that. Now once I've got, see, this is you can't see how this bowl's kind of deep. This is a lot of potatoes for this evening because we're going to have maybe, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 adults, and then maybe 4 children, and then maybe a couple teenagers who watch the children while we do our Bible study. And I take a knife, and this is called a sentoku knife, which is it's got a good, it's a good knife. They work real well. And we're going to dice the potatoes, and to do that, I slice it down a couple times one way, and that gives me 3 slices here for this one, depending on how wide they are. And then I slice it once the other way, and I end up with a total of 6 long slices. But to dice something, you end up with cubes. And so I put them back together and then cut it down like this. And when I do that, I end up with cubes. This is a cube. So this is called dicing. This is a cubed potato. It's been diced. All right. So then back here I have, oh, actually what I should have done was this bowl of potatoes, after I've peeled them, I put the potatoes in, this is called a colander. It's something you can run water through. And I put the potatoes in there, and then I take them over to the sink, and you can probably hear the water running. And I run water through the potatoes and then put them back in the bowl, so that cleans them. And I rinsed out the bowl also. So I put more potatoes in the colander. Like I said, you won't be doing this many potatoes for our family, but if we have guests over or if we're going to a potluck, we might do a lot of potatoes, and then I can help also. Okay, so I've got the clean potatoes, and we're going to dice them. And then I've got a bowl. This is a bowl of cold water, or this is a pan of cold water. And I put the potatoes in the pan of cold water after we dice them. And this is a large pan of cold water because I'm doing a few potatoes. So then, again, I slice this down a couple times. I slice it this way, and then I make cubed potatoes. This is so that we're going to boil them until they're cooked completely through. And then we're going to take a potato masher to mash them later, and I'll show you that later. Now I'm going to turn off the camera and finish doing this part, and then I'll turn the camera back on when I start a different part. Alright, I'm finishing cutting up the potatoes now, and some of them don't need as many cuts as others. Or I'm finishing cutting up one pan of them because I've still got more in the bowl, but this pan with the cold water in it is getting full. So what I need to do is take the cubed potatoes, the diced potatoes. See, these are cubed potatoes, and the pan is full. And I take the colander, and I'm going to put the colander in the sink and pour the potatoes in it, and then the water comes out of the potatoes, and the colander is full, and I run water over that to rinse them off again. We need to keep the food good and clean. Keep the food good and clean, and then this is a pan from it's a large rice cooker. It's probably bigger than your rice cooker. I'll show you the rice cooker later. And I put the potatoes in that pan. And I've got more potatoes in the other pan over here, and I put those in the colander here, and then I rinse those off. Put more potatoes in the rice cooker pan here, and then what I do, when this pan is full enough, I take, let's look at that again. I take hot water. I've got hot water here, and I've got to let the sink run a little for the water to get, for the hot water to get into the pipes and everything, you know. We got a water heater here. I want the water to be hot when I put it on here, so when I put it on the rice cooker, it doesn't take as long if the water is already a little bit hot. So I've got water, and it's covering, the water is covering, you know, the diced potatoes are in there, and the water is over them. There's more water than potatoes. And I'm going to put this in the rice cooker and turn the rice cooker on just like if you're cooking rice, except these are potatoes. Okay. We'll have another step after that's done. Now you'll notice these are not the potatoes I put in the rice cooker. These are more potatoes I need to cook. So I've rinsed them off and put them back in the pan. They were in a pan of cold water here like this is. And so I fill this with enough water to cover the potatoes and maybe an inch higher than the potatoes. And I'm going to put this pan on the stove and turn the stove on. It's sort of like a hot plate, except with four. It's a stove with an oven underneath it. I'm not going to show you right now. I'm in a big hurry, and my kitchen's kind of a mess. But I just want to leave the camera hanging here on the cabinet. So I'm going to put this pan on the stove and turn, we call them a burner, turn the burner on so that it will boil these potatoes. What we're going to do is boil these potatoes and the ones in the rice cooker until they're completely done. They'll be nice and soft and tender. Then we will put them back in a, maybe in this bowl here. And these cubed potatoes we'll put back in the bowl, and we'll mash them with this. It's called a potato masher. It's stiff metal, and you can see it's kind of bent in a way that if you mash potatoes, then the potatoes will get soft and mashed up. So these are going to take a while to boil. Once they boil, we'll go to the next step of mashing the potatoes. Alright, the potatoes we put on the stove were done first, even though we put them on after the ones that are in the rice cooker, but the rice cooker heats up slower than the stove does. So here they are. The water is boiled, and they've cooked long enough that they're soft. What you do to determine if they've cooked long enough is pull one out, like one of the bigger ones, because they're the ones that take longest to cook. And you just eat it. And if it's soft, or you can mush it between your fingers, but if you eat it, you can tell if it's soft enough. So I take my colander here with the slots in it so I can, and I've got pot holders because this is hot, and I pour the potatoes in the colander to drain the water off of them. And then I take this bowl and I put the cooked potatoes in there. Now, I'm going to move the potatoes over from the rice cooker to this pan, so I'm going to turn off the video for a minute because the rice cooker is going slower than, I should have started the rice cooker earlier. I really like using the rice cooker because for a couple of reasons. But on the rice cooker, you don't cook out all the water like you do on rice. You just cook them in the rice cooker until they're soft. Alright, now we take our potato masher. Like I said, it's stiff metal with a plastic handle. And you grab it like this and start mashing the potatoes. They're nice and soft. They're not hard to mash. And we mash them up a bit in this bowl. And once we mash them up quite a bit so that they're all kind of mashed, we're going to add milk. And I should tell you, I don't want you to be confused. I had to switch. The camera was accidentally on what's called a mirror image, so I had to switch it the other way. It might look different than when I first started the video to first start showing you how to do this, because I had to put it back on a mirror image. But I'll explain that to you later. This is soy milk. I'm using soy milk. You can also use cow's milk, but I try to use soy milk because it's healthier. Okay, we're going to put milk in here, and we're going to put, this is soy margarine also. It's like butter, but it's soy margarine. It's called Smart Balance. It's one of the best brands there is. And we take the margarine, and I'll take this wooden spoon and scoop out some margarine. I'm just guessing the amount I want in here. And I'm going to need some margarine for the other one too. And since this is all the margarine I have in the house, I don't have enough margarine. I just put about half of it in there. You kind of got to guess how much you need. And then soy milk. See, we're going to put enough soy milk in there to make the mashed potatoes not too thin, but not too thick. They got to be nice and creamy. So we'll start out with some soy milk and keep mashing. Now we're mashing the soy milk and the butter in there. And oh, I should say, this is salt. So I'm going to put some salt in there. This is pepper. Pepper's not the best thing in the world, but I'm going to put some in there. So I take these spoons and do it, because if I try to just toss it in there from this container, you might toss too much in. Some recipes you need to measure real carefully, but this you just kind of need to measure it. Just kind of need to guess. But if you guess wrong, you might have too much salt or too much pepper in it. As I mash this, I see it looks like I got a pretty good amount of milk in it. The soy milk makes it the right consistency. So does the margarine. We want it creamy, but we want it stiff enough that people can eat it with a fork. So at this point, I mean, it's finished when it's of the right consistency. And if it weren't of the right consistency, I might put a little bit more milk in, but this seems pretty good. And what I'm going to do, I have more on the stove, about this same amount more, or maybe even a little more than this. And we're going to need to use this bowl to mash it also. And like I said, this is a pretty good amount. This is more than we make for our family, because it's for a potluck with a bunch of families, but you'll be making it for potlucks too. And so since I'm going to take the rice cooker pan, because I need to use this bowl again, and this rice cooker also has a setting on it to just keep food warm. It's probably a lot more fancy than the rice cooker you got. So when I put this in here, in the rice cooker, this is what we got. We've got potatoes in the rice cooker, and you see they're soft, but not too soft. They even stick to the spatula here. And this spatula was good for scraping stuff out of the bowl here. But we'll use a spoon. I don't have a serving spoon here right now, just kind of a big spoon so people can serve when they finally do it. And see, there's finished mashed potatoes. So I'm done with this demonstration. I actually probably should taste them. Let me taste some on the spatula. I'll clean the spatula off later. Those are good. I wish you were here to taste them, baby doll. I love you. One day you're going to make these potatoes in my kitchen. Well, baby doll, I finished editing most of the video. I hope you like it because I want to continue doing stuff like this. Show you how to cook, show you around the house. I need to get it straightened up quite a bit more before I can do a lot of that. Baby doll, I love you. I will love spending the rest of my life with you and teaching you things and learning from you. I just cannot believe in the short time we've known each other how close I feel to you and how I long to spend the rest of my life with you. This is went pretty good. The potatoes went good at the meeting tonight, and one day you'll be there helping cook in the kitchen and and cleaning up too. I still have to clean up from cooking the potatoes. I will see you later. I love you, and I miss you so much. Bye for now.